In this video, we explore the tangled and unbelievable murder case of Teresa Halbach. Many have forgotten her name, but everybody remembers her murderer's name, Steven Avery. Avery had previously served 18 years of a 32-year sentence for sexual assault, but due to new improved DNA technology, he was exonerated and set free. 2 years into a civil lawsuit that he initiated against his accusers, Avery was arrested for the murder of Teresa Halbach. Accusations of conspiracy and vendetta against Avery were argued by his lawyers. The Netflix documentary alluded to this fact as well, and was seen as an extremely biased account of the facts and evidence. The following are little-known reasons pointing to Steven Avery's guilt that was purposely left out of the Netflix show. Reason number 1. A history of violence and crime. When looking at Avery's past, we need to omit the rape case of Penny Bjørnsen, as concrete evidence exonerating him from the case is irrefutable. Not much is known about his childhood other than that before turning 18, he was convicted of burglary. As per state laws, these records had to be sealed because the crime was committed while he was a minor. In March 1981, Avery and a friend burgled a bar and were convicted and sentenced to 2 years at Manitowoc County Jail, but ended up only serving 10 months. In late 1982, Avery and 2 other men, at Avery's suggestion, threw the family cat in a bonfire and then watched it burn until it died. Avery was found guilty of animal cruelty and sentenced to 9 months in jail. His excuse for this was, "I was young and stupid and hanging out with the wrong people." In January 1985, Avery confronted his cousin Sandra Morris, who according to him was spreading rumors about his sexual deviances, by running her off the road and pointing an unloaded shotgun at her. Avery pleaded guilty to endangering safety while evincing a depraved mind and possession of a firearm. Avery was sentenced to 6 years in prison. While in prison for the Bjørnsen conviction, Avery is said to have shown his cellmate a picture and plans for a rape and torture chamber that he had personally designed, as well as letters to his then-wife, explaining to her how he was going to kill and dismember her. Domestic abuse claims by both of his ex-wives have also surfaced, showing, if true, violence towards women. This sent out a clear message that prison had changed Avery to graduate to much more serious crimes. Reason number 2. Avery lured Teresa Halbach to her death. Teresa Halbach had one last appointment on October 31st, 2005 to complete. Ironically, this would also be her last ever appointment. Teresa worked as a photographer for Autotrader.com, taking photographs of vehicles that were for sale. Her last stop was Avery's salvage yard. Teresa had taken photos for Avery before and remarked to her boss in disgust that Avery had met her at the door in just a towel once and she didn't want to go there again. Avery had specifically requested Teresa that night, but gave his sister's name as a reference for the appointment. When making the appointment, Avery specifically requested the girl that was here before. Calls to Teresa's phone from Avery were intentionally dialed with the *67 feature to hide the identification of the caller. This evidence seems to be an intentional ruse to lure Teresa to the Avery salvage yard and ultimately to her murder. Reason number 3. The evidence. In any criminal case, evidence is paramount to guilt or innocence. The staggering amount of physical evidence against Avery is hard to refute. Halbach's car. Teresa's Toyota RAV4 was found in the salvage yard partially covered by bushes and the hood of another car. Forensics later found that Avery's blood, Teresa's blood, as well as another unidentified person's blood were all found in her car. Avery's blood was found in 6 places on Halbach's vehicle, and DNA from a sweat was found on the vehicle's hood latch. Her car key was found in Avery's room and had a sweat sample of DNA matching Avery. The garage. On 1st of March 2006, Brenton Dassey, Avery's cousin, confessed to investigators that Teresa had been shot in Avery's garage with Steven's .22 caliber rifle. On the 2nd of March, investigators were searching the garage and a bullet was found. After forensics analysis, Teresa Halbach's DNA was found on the bullet. A faint smear that was almost invisible to the naked eye was also found on the floor of the garage, and was slightly different in color from the surrounding concrete. When luminol was applied to the stain, it gave a faint bluish glow, which indicates a blood stain. Halbach's belongings. 20 feet from his house, a barrel containing Theresa's burnt belongings were found, which included her phone, purse, camera, and PDA. Halbach's bones. Various types of burnt bones and teeth were found on Steven Avery's property. A bone with a partial DNA profile was recovered matching Halbach. The remains were found in and around a burn pit on Avery's property. Reason number 4, the Brendan Dassey confession. Dassey repeatedly confessed that he had helped rape and murder Theresa, saying, "Avery asked me to come into the house because he wanted to show me something, and he showed me that she was laying on the bed. Her hands were roped up to the bed and that her legs were cuffed. And then he told me to have sex with her, and so I did. And when we put her in the fire and her clothes, we were standing right by the garage to wait for it to get down." He then recanted his confession, claiming he had been coerced by police into giving a statement implicating Avery as well as himself. The statement given is extremely graphic and detailed, and contained truths that weren't in the public domain yet. Reason number 5. The conspiracy is just too big to be true. Defense lawyers for Avery base his innocence on a conspiracy or vendetta against Avery by the relevant law enforcement authorities. Avery's exoneration for the Bernstein case and subsequent civil lawsuit for $36 million made conspiracy theorists salivate when the murder case came up. Was Avery framed by law enforcement to exempt them from paying the damages? Was Avery framed and made an example of for embarrassing those that jailed him? Would law enforcement kill and burn an innocent woman and plant numerous pieces of evidence just to frame one man? The magnitude of evidence and individuals it would take to undertake such a massive conspiracy without anyone talking is nearly impossible. Risking careers and even incarceration for a vendetta spanning 18 years seems like a far reach. The evidence and history point to the guilt of Steven Avery in Teresa Halbach's murder. But as with all controversial subjects, there are many varying opinions in the Avery case. We would like to hear yours, so please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching Bad Things. Hit the subscribe button, like button, and notification bell, and share our channel for our up-and-coming true crime videos.